Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my 2 weeks with the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus. I do think that Samsung did a lot of good stuff with this particular model here, especially given the fact when we compare it to the Galaxy S23 Plus from last year. Number one, they gave it more RAM. They starts at 12 gigs of RAM, whereas last year had 8. Also, it starts off at 256 of storage, whereas last year had 128. This goes all the way up to 120 refresh hertz, all the way down to 1. That is an improvement over last year's model. Also, this is Quad HD, just like the S24 Ultra, whereas last year's model had only Full HD. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Right here, if you go to display, you can go right here into screen resolution, so you can put it in Quad HD if you so wish to. I have it set at Full HD, which is 1080, just so I can conserve a little more battery, but again, it's up to you. You have that option, that's what counts. Another big improvement that Samsung did to the S24 Plus was increasing the battery size. This is now 4,900 milliamps, whereas last year only had 4,700 milliamps. So really, in theory, this is only 100 milliamps smaller than the Galaxy S24 Ultra. That is kind of a big deal. I mean, this screen is a little bit smaller than this one. This is a 6.7. The Ultra, it is a 6.8. It's also wider. So the battery really should be about the same. I'm going to get into that. But first, I want to talk about the performance in this particular model right here. This is a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. And I got to tell you guys, I'm really impressed by it. This thing is an absolute beast, man. Whatever you throw at it, it just runs smooth all day long. It does not get hot. The only time that it got a little warm was when I was setting it up. Obviously, it's downloading a ton of apps and stuff like that. But I mean, whatever you throw at it, this thing is an absolute beast, man. No stutter, nothing. Does not get high, like I said, and I'm kind of impressed. I gotta tell you, I mean, I know that overseas you guys have the Exynos 2400. I'm hearing good things about that, but for the North American market, that we are getting the Gen 3 for the Plus and the smaller version. This is a win, man. This is definitely a win, and pretty much what I do on a day-to basis is I have it set all night for my alarm clock. And then right after that, listening to podcasts on the way to work, listening to YouTube off. And then once I go to the gym, ton of music. So overall, I mean, you're not gonna have any issues with this phone whatsoever. No lags, no stutters, does not get hot. So definitely a win right here. And as far as the design, I got to tell you guys, it kind of looks like an iPhone, but is that really a bad thing? Not really. I mean, there you got your speaker, which is different now. You got your Type-C port and your scene ejector. You got your 3 cameras with the flash, speaker at the top, and your 2 microphones right over here at the very top. And you got your 5G antenna. No buttons on this side whatsoever, which I kind of like that. I don't know how like the iPhone has like, what do we got on that side? We got the power button on this side and like up, down, and like the action button. I don't know. Everything's clean like this, and only on one side. So that way, you know, if it's in your pocket, there's nothing to look for on this side. Just a thing. I don't know. Kind of used to that, I guess. But yeah, as far as design, absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at it. The bezels are a little thinner now than ever. You guys tell me, what do you think about it? Number 3, the phone has a ton of AI features, such as um, you press and hold the home button, and you can circle on whatever you're looking at. It'll provide you information based upon what you circle. This can be anything, online, anything like that. Also, it has live translation, whereas if you're on a phone call, it'll translate to you exactly what that other person is saying in a different language, and vice versa. And another thing, let me show you guys really quick. If we go to settings right here and we go to wallpapers and then say change wallpapers, and then we go to creative. You can create your own wallpaper using the AI. Let me show you guys. So let's go into terrain, for example, right? And let's say that let's not do surreal. Let's do so beach, and let's say with a little bit of shade of blue. So let's generate. Takes a couple of seconds. And there it is, guys. We have created artificial intelligence wallpaper. So let's go ahead and set this one up. I kind of like this one. So let's set it up. Done. Boom. And there you go. So this is how you know if your wallpaper is actually AI generated, because it has a little watermark down here. You can't barely see it, but it is there. So that's what you'll know. I mean, there's so much stuff with this AI that honestly, it should have its own dedicated video just for that, if I'm going to be honest with you. So I'm going to skip over this one. I'm definitely going to get back to touch base with every single point of AI for these new phones. Also, it's coming to the S23 series. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, which I mentioned earlier, is the increase of the battery from 4700 to 4900 milliamps. And again, it's only 100 milliamps smaller than the S24 Ultra. And it makes a big difference when it's paired up with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. This phone, I don't worry about charging before the end of the day. I just plug it in the morning and I go to work. And by the time I'm home, I have 40, even 50% battery sometimes. I'm getting about 6.5 screen on time, and I still have about 45% battery left. So you do the math. To me, that's a win right there. Another massive improvements for this particular model is the screen, how bright it gets. It's 2600 milliamps of brightness. Not milliamps, what am I saying? 2600 peak brightness, guys. Yeah, so it's extremely bright when you're out in the sun. You're not gonna have an issue whatsoever seeing the screen. Also, another good thing is that if you dim it, look how dim it gets. Like I can't see anything. Like I don't even think I can get it back to where it was. Give me a second. There we go. We're back. So yeah, it gets extremely dim. Look, I have it an extra dim. Let me turn that off. There we go. So yeah, we have the extra dim, and you lower it all the way to the lowest possible. You're not gonna be able to see anything unless you're in a really dark room. And then next is the camera, where not a lot really changed from the S23 models from last year in terms of the Plus and the regular one. You're still getting a 50 megapixel primary camera, and then a 12 megapixel ultra wide and a 12 megapixel telephoto. This will be your primary camera right here. I mean, if there's a gripe with this phone, I would say that it's probably the camera. Out of everything that they did, the one thing that was kind of left the same was the camera. And it's not really a major deal, but if you're paying $1,000 for this, you got to really consider the Pixel 8 Pro and the OnePlus 12. Those are two models that are right there, or even the S23 Ultra from last year, for that matter. If you're willing to have a bigger phone with an S Pen, if you use that, it's an option. The camera's not bad, but there's definitely room for improvement, and I hope that they can show you those improvements via software. But again, you're limited to 50 megapixels, whereas this guy right here has a 200 megapixels as the main shooter. Okay, so there's a little bit more detail in the pictures and stuff like that. Definitely, you'll be able to see that difference in certain scenarios. But let me show you some samples I took right here. This is a pretty up close shot that I took, like literally less than an inch. So that's pretty good. Look at the detail on that. Again, if you put it next to the S24 Ultra or the 23 Ultra, you'll be able to see like there's a slight more detail. But besides that, I'm not saying it's a deal breaker, but I'm saying that there might be something out there that's better for the price. That's all. The video quality is absolutely stunning, guys. I mean, you'll see that. I think Samsung did a lot of improvements here to truly consider this phone as a daily driver for sure. So let me show you guys a couple of pictures here so you can see with the S24 Plus, it's capable of plenty of vivid colors here. Typical Samsung picture, a lot of detail on the grass. This was more of a long shot of the patio here. You can see the clouds on the background, but I want to show you guys something here because the biggest improvement has been in the night shots here. Look how much detail is in the palm tree and this particular building. And then I want you guys to meet my beta fish right here. This is a newly set up tank that I did about 2 months now. I have a ton of fish now. If you guys are interested in that, I can definitely. And then this will be a video that I took of just riding, baby. But yeah, I mean, good details on the video. Pretty sharp, I would say. So to wrap things up, I think Samsung did enough here to actually make this device this year not a regrettable choice over the Galaxy S24 Ultra. I think that there's definitely a place for this particular model right here, and I recommend it. It's a win. There's a lot of people out there that can use a phone like this. It doesn't have to be a creator, it doesn't have to be a professional, but it's plenty of good stuff going on here. And again, guys, 7 years of software updates. What more could you ask? And with that being said, guys, I want to thank you for watching. Please like, it really does help the channel. And then I'll catch you in the next one, okay? Peace.